Okay, we are live for episode 3 of the Mind World of Sports, and today we are looking at an important topic for teams and athletes, and it's the importance of playing to your potential, not to the level of the other team or the occasion. And this particular episode comes off the back of State of Origin Game 2 in 2024, whenever you're listening to this. The game just happened a couple of days ago, and the game was in Melbourne, and Queensland came into this game having already won Game 1. And so it's very rare for a team to have a whitewash, and I'm going to get into why that is at this point. And so in this particular episode, I'm going to break down what I noticed in that game and what can happen for you as an athlete or as a team. So if you've ever experienced maybe, playing really good against another team, you're playing against a top of the table team, and let's say, for example, mid-table, and you play just as well as them. Maybe you can beat those top teams. Or on the other side, maybe you are a top team and you play against a not so good team and you lose. I think every athlete has experienced that before, where for whatever reason, we're going to get into the reason, we can play better against good teams and we can play worse against not so good teams. And in this State of Origin example, Queensland just did not show up. And this is a common thread in State of Origin, where the team who won Game 1 usually loses Game 2. And we're going to get into why that is and why it's important to play to your potential, so that you can crush oppositions and win as many games as you can, right? And actually how to do that. So whether you're an athlete or a team or a coach or a parent, and you want to know about this stuff, you've come to the right place. If you want to hear more about the Mind World of Sports, make sure you subscribe, YouTube, Spotify, and share it with someone, because it helps them to learn how they can be a better player, a better teammate as well. Okay, so one thing that I noticed in Game 2 of State of Origin was that Queensland just did not show up. And this is so strongly got to do with mindset. And we've also seen many teams before go on really good runs. Let's say they get a new coach and all of a sudden they just go on a great run, or it's a specific milestone that someone has, and for whatever reason they get up. We can see that energy is so important, that mindset is so important for performance, because when the game doesn't need to be won, some teams just don't show up. Players don't show up, and this is the case for Queensland. New South Wales were desperate to win to keep the series alive, and Queensland not so desperate. And if we are complacent, then we can go to shit. We can go to shit. And so I'm going to give some tips about how to make sure that you don't drop down your own performance to a lesser level team, and how you can make sure that you are playing to your potential every game. And the first thing to realize here is to take the focus, is the word I'm looking for, away from the result altogether. Take the focus away from past and future, right? Because if we're operating in past and future, what happens is we think about, we beat this team last time, we're going to beat them again, right? Or we're looking to the series, for example, in the State of Origin, we've got 3 games, so it doesn't matter if we win this game. Now, people try to not let this happen, but they do. In the back of their mind, they realize this happened, and the way to change it is to step number 1, think about what you want, okay? If you're here to win, most teams are here to win. Cool, you have your intention. You need to know what your intention is. We're here to play our best, right? But step number 2 is about focusing on yourself. It's really taking away past and future and being in the moment, right? And this is where people do their best. You can imagine a race, and I ran a race a little while ago. There was an event I did. It was called the Strong Mile here in Newcastle, and I have practiced so often getting in the zone that I just was totally focused on me running the fastest race that I could. Now, some people And there's a video that I saw on Facebook yesterday, actually. This guy on the marathon, he just kept looking behind him as he was getting to the end of the race. And sure enough, if you're looking behind you, well, number one, you have some worry that someone's going to overtake you. Number two, you're not looking where you're going. You're not focused on your own job. In racing, in horse racing, they put blinders on horses so they don't look at other horses, right? This is what I'm talking about. It's stop focusing on the other team, the crowd, stop even focusing and caring about the result of the game or last game or next game. It's totally being in the moment and totally putting your foot to the pedal. So for me, in this race, I just went ham. I just ran the race as fast as I could, right? Because I understood I'm not running to beat these people. I'm running to do my best. And this is a key distinction. So many teams and athletes focus on the other person and the result. I'm here to win. I'm here to beat these people. But that in itself can take you away from you running your own race. And so Queensland did not play to their potential because they, in the back of their mind, were too focused on New South Wales, probably focused on game 3 in some way, right? And their attention and their effort was not right here, right? Yeah, so yes, you need to have an intention, and Queensland would have had the intention to win, but deep down in the back of their mind, they were already thinking about Queensland, or they'd been thinking about Sydney the game before, right? When New South Wales knew that they needed to win. So another point here is, how can you, step number 3, we've got step number 1, let's look at what you want. Okay, we're here to play to our potential. Maybe it's not even here to necessarily win, it's just here to play our best game, get clear on what our game plan is. Step number 2 is to totally focus in on the moment. Block out outside anything. Be able to access the zone. And this is the work that I do with athletes, is to get them out of their head and into the moment, because you cannot play your best if part of your mind is somewhere else. You cannot play your best if you're focused on past or future, worried about winning, scared of losing, thinking about last game, right? It's about learning how to access the moment and get into the zone. So what you can do as an athlete is start to practice how you can find your own inner motivation, intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation would be to win the game, to get people to like me, to get picked in a team, right? An intrinsic motivation, the way that I'm describing it, is, for me at least, is me doing my best. That's why I'm here. The number one reason is for me to give it my best so that I can hold my head high and be proud of myself. Now, as a byproduct, I know that if I'm doing my best in every single part of the game, or whatever it is that I'm doing, that is going to set me up for success. But if I'm some way focused too much outside of myself, it's outside of my control, which is other players, the scoreboard, then that rattles me. That takes my attention away. And this is what's happened to Queensland. And look, the thing here is sometimes it can play into your favor. And this is why some people get tricked into it. They have a home crowd. And it gets into people's mind. You know, they go to this tough team at a tough home ground where they haven't won for 10 years. And it's like, oh, we can't win. There is a belief in there. And this is what it really gets down to, is that we have these unconscious beliefs, these subconscious beliefs of, for Queensland, for example, well, it doesn't matter if we lose game 2 because we'll win game 3, right? But that's not serving you because, hey, you just lost a game and now it's 1-0. And if you lose Queensland, you lose the series. So the deeper work that I do with my one-to-one clients is looking at your subconscious beliefs. Your subconscious beliefs, which could be, I don't want to lose the game. I don't want to let the team down. I don't want to get injured. And all these things play on your mind. But as an elite athlete, you get to learn how to block out any outside noise and for you to totally be in the zone. And when you're in the zone, you're going to be putting your best effort in. You're not playing to win or lose in that point. You're playing because you're playing. You're playing because here you are. You're playing because this is what you're doing and this is what you love. You're playing for the enjoyment of it and to test yourself, to challenge yourself. You're doing it to grow as a person and a player. Too often, too many players and athletes are playing to win or lose. But I listened to an old interview with Kobe Bryant a little while ago, and the interviewee said to him, she said, Kobe, there's two types of players. There's players that love to win, and there's players that hate to lose. Which one are you? And typical Kobe, in Kobe fashion, with his Mamba mentality, said to her, I'm neither. He said, because if you're looking to win, you're always thinking about winning. What happens when you lose? And if you're playing not to lose, well, then you're playing with this, anxiety, fear of losing. He said, I played to learn. I played to learn something. And what he's saying is about himself in the game. He's playing to get better. And if you're always playing to learn, you're always playing to get better, then you put your best effort in. It infuriates me. And it infuriates me when teams are so focused outside on the result of the game, on what happened last time or what might happen, that they're totally out of the moment. Now, in a deeper sense of humanity, this is a problem with humanity altogether. Why depression happens and anxiety happens is because we worry about the past or the future. And if you are a sort of negative-minded person like I am, if I don't check my mindset, or you get anxious, the being in the present moment, being in the moment is the antidote to everything. And it's the antidote in this instance for you to play to your potential. For you to play to your potential, you need to go in with that as the goal, as the intention that we are going to play our best in this game, regardless of the result. Look, we put 60 on them. Let's put 60 on them. Let's just do that. But you're not focusing on the scoreline. You're focusing on you doing your best, your team doing your best. You're focusing on playing to your potential. And that comes from being in the moment. Okay? You get to take your attention away from the result altogether. What happened last game or what might happen next game, or even the result of this game, and to put the pedal to the metal, the foot down. Okay? You can't take your foot off the pedal. It's wrong. It's wrong in so many ways. It just doesn't make any sense. If you want to be the best, you need to keep that foot on the accelerator. In a series of 3, best out of 3 series, or in every single moment of every single game. We get down on ourselves, and our parents get down on us, and our coaches get down on us if they notice that we don't put our best effort in. If you were asked any parent or any coach what pisses them off the most and what makes them the happiest, they will say what pisses them off the most is not trying, not putting your best effort in. Right? They won't care if you're the best player or the worst player. What they care about is attitude, right? And so what makes them the happiest is seeing you do your best, seeing you enjoy yourself and getting out there and doing your best. That will be what every parent asks for and every coach asks for. And that's what I'm asking of you now. And you can ask of yourself. Individually as a player, you play in a team. Hey, am I doing my job to 100% of my best? And focusing on what's in my control, which is my preparation, my mindset, my effort, and how I do my job. That's what you focus on. Okay, Queensland forgot about that. They took their foot off the accelerator because in the back of their mind, they knew they could and still win the series. But F that, throw that away. They'll be disappointed with themselves after that game. And it's because they know that they missed an opportunity to really put it on to New South Wales. Now, for New South Wales' point of view, it's going to be in the back of their mind now that they dominated. And they beat Queensland convincingly. They also know Queensland will bounce back now because it's game 3. And so this is where, at times, the momentum can be with you, home ground advantage, or, for example, when you need to win a game, that you're going to have that extra motivation, but you can't rely on those things as a thing that's going to get you to the point of reaching your potential. You need to be able to find that from within. And that's really what I'm talking about with intrinsic motivation, is that you're playing your best every game, in every moment of every game, right? Just because it feels good and it helps your team and it helps you reach your own potential and your team to reach its potential. And that's what this episode is about. Blocking out everything else out, coming from within here to play your best, because you can, because it feels good, because by byproduct it gets great results and it helps you grow as a person, as a player, and helps your team win. So playing to your potential is about, number one, knowing what you want. Number two, focusing on what's in your control, being in the moment. And number three, executing that over and over and over and over and over and over again. What you'll realize is that you feel proud of yourself. Your parents will be proud of you, your family will be proud of you, your coach will say, great job. And it's because they recognize that you are one of the very few people in the world who is doing your best in every moment, who's actually giving it your all, because it feels good, because it helps you grow, helps your team grow. Block everything else out, people. Play to your own potential. Play to the best that you can, 10 out of 10, every single game in every single moment. Every pass is the best you can. Every run is the best you can, whatever your sport is. Every stretch, every warm-up is the best that you can. And you'll be able to come off that field with your head held high regardless of the results. I promise you that. So, key message here, block everything else out that's going on. Be in the moment. Put your best effort forward and you'll be surprised how far you go. That's it for this episode. I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.